Hi, this is Kristy with Guidepost to Wellness. I want to talk with you today about the power of positivity. I just read an article published by the Mayo Clinic that was talking about negative self-talk and the effects on our stress and the effects of positive thinking. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about that because research has really started to show that there are a lot of benefits to positive thinking. For example, increased lifespan, lower rates of depression and distress and anxiety, even greater resistance immune-wise, and we'll talk more about that a lot in the future because I love talking about the effect of our thoughts on our immune system. But in general, just talking about the power of positivity and the effects on your health. And one of the things that can happen is we don't even realize how much negative self-talk that we have going on in our minds. And it's something that happens, it starts at a very early age. It can be things that happen to us in our childhood. It can be things that we've learned from our parents or people that are around us on how we think to ourselves and think about ourselves. And negative self-talk is really important because it's oftentimes very subconscious. And some examples of negative self-talk patterns that we can get into is that we can personalize things that really have nothing to do with us. Something we're late for work and we can just turn it on to ourselves, that we didn't do something right. We can make things out to be worse than they could be. We can try to predict that if this doesn't happen, then I'm going to be financially ruined if I don't get this raise. I can't pay my bills. Different things like that that we do that are a very negative form of self-talk. And there are some strategies that we are going to talk about with Guidepost to Wellness in the future videos. But the first thing I wanted to do is just as I mentioned in the ABCs of Wellness, awareness is one of the first steps to identifying that. So my challenge is to anybody that's watching this is to listen to your thoughts. Take some notes of how you think about things. Try to catch yourself as you're thinking about different things that happen to you and think, am I thinking about this in a positive way or am I thinking about this in a negative way? No judgment, just be aware and just start to recognize how are you thinking about things. And then when we can get to that step and identify some of the things that we have negative self-talk about, then let's start to think about ways that we can turn them into more of a positive. What are some ways that we can change a situation around and take control of it and be more positive about it? So we're going to talk more about the power of positivity, but I want you to realize that being a Pollyanna or thinking about things in a positive way or not focusing on the negative can be a very helpful stress management method. And that's one of the foundations is how do we de-stress our minds and de-stress our bodies. And one of the things that we can do is take a look at negative self-talk and also work on the feelings of positivity. We want to have better health. We want to have better stress management. Then we need to be able to capture the power of our thoughts and think about things in a more positive way. And I'm not saying that when something bad happens that you write it off and that you're Pollyanna about it, but how can we reframe things that are happening? How can we learn from them? How can we not live in the past and not worry about the future? What are some coping mechanisms for that? So there'll be more to come on the power of positivity, but I just wanted you to stop and think about the things that you do in your life, apply the ABCs of Wellness and the awareness factor to that to start to recognize that, and then we'll work on making some changes to those in future videos. So I've got some links down below for other videos if you're interested, and I hope that you have a powerfully positive day.